Good morning everyone, and welcome to another motivational morning. This morning we're in the garden and we're taking time to think about how to be mindful in the garden. So it's a bit different from last week's session. Ooh, the wind is blowing, as you can see. It's a bit chilly as well, so I put a coat on, but it's really good to be out in the fresh air today. We're in our back garden, and it's good to just take stock, take some time out for yourself today. Also to have time to quieten yourself down. I think a lot of people have been getting in touch saying how anxious they are with the situation, and it's a really good time to look at our mental health and to do activities and rituals each day that really help us to be well in mind, spirit and body. Tomorrow we're going to have our exercise session with Iona Davies, but today I wanted to do a mindfulness session with you, just to take time to take stock and to do something that helps you to get into the flow. It kind of puts if you're feeling anxious, that side to one side, and helps you to just be completely in the moment. So the garden for me is the best place to do that. Whenever I've been stressed or anxious, if I come into the garden and sit, that's a really good space to do that. So this morning I've been around collecting things from our garden. So I've been collecting in some bowls. So I went round, I've collected some petals, so I want you to go around your garden and have a think about things that you can touch and feel nice, maybe that smell nice, and things that are beautiful as well. So all of those, I want you to use those different senses. So I went and collected some rosemary. Rosemary, when you crush it, the scent just reminds me of a roast dinner. It's so nice. I love rosemary, as you know from the focaccia bread we did on Monday. It's one of my favourite things. So I want you to think about things that smell nice. When I cut this one, something's leaked out of it. I think there's some of the water in the stamens a bit sticky. Not the stamen, in the stem. But I think these are really nice. I love the shape of these. They look like mini lily pads to me. I love those. So I've been cutting those up. So have a look around your garden. I've got some leaves. So I've got these. I'm going to pull off the leaves for our activity this morning. So I want you to take a little bit of time. Take off the leaves of things that you're using. If you've got a bowl, you might want to put it in a bowl so it doesn't blow away. So do join with me this morning. So I'm going to take the leaves off that for our mandala shape that we're going to be doing. So it's going to be less of me talking and more mindfulness doing together. So if you're in the garden now, do go round, and if you're watching this later, you can take more time. We're just doing this over 20 minutes, but why not spend a good hour in the garden this morning? Just explore the garden. What can you hear? At the moment I can hear the road because we're near the M1, but I can also hear some birds chirping in the trees. I can hear the grass rustling at the side of me. You might be able to hear that. Everything rustles with the wind. I also went and collected some stones from our path. So if you have a path or anything that has slate or stones, do go and grab some of those as well for our activity. So we're just take time just to feel the edge of the stones. Just have a think about everything you're picking up. What does it feel like? What does it remind you of? I don't know what type of stone this one is. It's an orangey stone. And then I picked up some more that looks like flint, that are whiter. So maybe separate things out into colours. Have a look at the different colours. I love the sound of the stones when you do that and shake it together. That's really nice. And then I picked some of this heather up. And with this, I'm just going to take off. Can you see these really tiny little petals? I'm going to take some of those off and strip these. I think this will be really satisfying. Yeah, all those beautiful little bits. So when you've done that, when you've got little piles of things together, this is a purely mindful activity. We're creating for the sake of creating this morning. We're not creating oh, you can hear lambs bleating, Catherine. Oh, lovely. Oh, you live near the countryside rather than the motorway. But yeah, we're creating just for the sake of creating. We're not going to have a finished product in the same way that we usually do. This is more to get you into the habit of being consciously creative, to just get you to think about your surroundings, really take in the fresh air. So breathe in deeply and breathe out. Just be aware of your breathing this morning. Be aware of the surroundings. It's really good, even if it's chilly, to go outside. I think we can end up just being cooped up inside, but if you can go outside in the back garden, do make the most of having gardens. We've got some lovely gardens in Britain, and if you've got a back garden or even a balcony if you're in a flat, or even just open the window and just get some fresh air in this morning. And we all know the mantra is to stay inside, but Boris doesn't mind us going in our back gardens, so we're not going to spread corona that way. So do take that time. So I've set up, I've got a little pile of leaves and petals, so I'm just going to move this so you can see what we're doing. Because my table has slits in it, I've put 2 pieces of paper down. Because it was windy, I've blue tacked them down, because every time I did it, it was blowing away. So I've blue tacked this down just for the session this morning. And I just want you to start to have a look at the materials that you've got. I think I'm going to start with the rosemary. And we're going to do a mandala shape out of the materials. So you might want to start to strip your leaves off. I'm going to use the leaves. You might want to use the stems as part of your mandala shape. Actually, I could use some of our stems maybe. So I'm going to put some of these onto the page, so hopefully you can see. If you can't see, let me know, but I'm going to start here. I think I'll start with the stones in the middle. So we're making a circles upon circles upon circles. The mandala shape's really therapeutic. It's great. I've worked a lot with people with dementia, and there's something about that shape that really draws people in to be able to be in the flow of an activity. Oh, thanks for your message, Rachita. Oh, you found some pine cones. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, have a look on your trees as well. We've got loads of trees. I never really look unless they're bearing fruit. But if you've got pine cones, you could do a really big mandala. It doesn't need to be a small mandala. You could go big. So depending on what space you've got, you could do it on the floor as a family activity. You could work together with each other, or you could just use it as a quiet meditative reflection for yourself. So I'm going to put some of our stones, maybe 5 stones is quite a nice number, in the middle here. And then I'm going to sprinkle some of these lovely pink petals. Love this. There's so pink petals in the middle. I'm going to fill up my mandala with the pink. So yeah, do go as big or as little as you want to. I'm going to add some of these gorgeous petals into mine. So it's on yellow, so it's not showing up so well on mine, but because I've got yellow card. But we'll put these around. Can split those up. Just what can you smell? What can you taste? What can you hear, and what can you see around you this morning? So I'm going to put the petals. The wind is against me this morning. It's blowing everything away, but I don't mind. Oh, there's a little a little beetle there, so we'll just pop him over there. So I don't mind nature though, it's good to be out with nature. So we've started, so I've built up a circle here. We're going to add into it, I think I'll put some rosemary around the edge of here. So I'm going to, maybe I'll scatter the rosemary and then bring it in. So just really think about however it feels. I can smell the rosemary in my hands, it smells delicious. So if you've got herbs, maybe incorporate some of the herbs in this morning. There was a little bird's feather in that. Just gets you to really think about what's around you. So how are we doing for time? So we've got another 9 minutes, so just take time. I'm gonna we've got these little white ones that I'm gonna scatter again around the edge. I'm gonna scatter them on, I think, as my background. And then I've got these lovely stones, these lovely orangey stones, so I want to add those in, maybe as little spokes and wheels to my mandala this morning. What else have we got? I've got these lovely leaves. I love the shape of leaves, just so beautiful. It's quite a waxy leaf, this one, and it's got yellow in it as well as green. So I'm going to add that in between my stones this morning. It's really important that we take time every day to do something mindful. It might be before you, if you're working from home, it might be to do it before work. It might be on your lunch break if you're having a break away from your computer. That might be the time that you go and do something mindful. It might be that you just take your lunch out into the garden and have your lunch. Oh, I've just had a message from Dawn saying don't taste the daffodils. Yes, I think the bulbs are poisonous. Yeah, just be aware of what you're smelling and tasting. Work with the usual herbs, I think. But there's certain things, obviously, I think, and give your hands a wash after this activity as well, just because you're picking things up from the floor. But oh, somebody else has just messaged. Natasha said about rangoli, which are mandalas and designs in patterns created on the floor using rice, dry flour and sand. So yeah, I think it's from that tradition of the paintings. A lot of different religions and different cultures use this shape. I know in Celtic Christianity there's this shape as well, and in different cultures there's something so meditative, and it's a shape that's repeated in all cultures. I think in all of our kind of gardens there's a round shape that, you know, the middle of the flower, buds on the tree, that the circular shape just repeats so much. I've got these lovely little ones that I think I'm going to add in at the end of each of my petals, maybe every other one. Oh, it's all blowing away, but that's part of the fun this morning. So I'm going to add those in just here and there. And let's see, add 4 of those in. They're just so cute, these. You see the shape again is like circle after circle after circle. And it's making me want to find out what each of the plants is actually. I think after I might have a look. And right in the middle of that there's a beautiful little pattern. Oh, it's starting to rain. We will hold out until the rain starts to pour, and then I might have to leg it inside. But it's good to feel a bit of rain. If we've not been out for all week, it's good to feel the rain on your skin. It's not, you know, we're waterproof, aren't we? So it's not a bad thing. I think I'm going to add to this and put some more leaves in and make it a bit bigger. So I've got some nice leaves here. I'm just going to grab a few, some of these leaves. I love these leaves. These are huge. These are the ones that rustle in the wind and you can hear the noise of. So I'm just going to trim those. I'm going to add those in. Why not? The wind is a little bit against me this morning, and everything's blowing away, but that doesn't matter. So take time this morning to get out into your garden. Put your coat on. It doesn't matter. I'll just get a few more leaves. Doesn't matter if you get a bit wet. We're too used to being inside, I think, as a people. We've got used to being pampered and inside with the heating on and huddled up under a blanket or whatever. The more time we spend outside, the better it is for our well-being. So I'm happy with what I've got there. I might just add a few more leaves around the edge. Just going to scatter those though. It's not about making something perfect, it's about just taking time to meditate. Oh yeah, Catherine, I'll take a picture of it from above so you can have a look at what I've created. We're also going to do a blog post on mindfulness. I think Iona Davies is designing us a blog on mindful activities. Just top tips to keep your mind healthy, and not, especially at the moment when everything feels quite anxious and unknown. We want to keep you all healthy. I'd love to see what you've made in your gardens as well. So take a picture. If you email it to me at caroline@artcoreuk.com, we can post it then on our blog. And we can post it on our Facebook page, or if you privately message us on Facebook as well with the pictures of what you've made, we'll pop it on. We'd love to see what you're all doing over this time. I'm just going to bring the camera around so you can sort of see the picture that I've made. So everything's blown away, but so everything's blown away a bit, but I will take a nice picture and show you. Have a lovely day. At 1 p.m. we've got our crafternoon session with Iona Davies, and she's going to be doing peg animals. And then our artist takeover is Connie Burley, and Connie's a set designer for theatre, and also has a studio at our shop at Artcore. So do tune in at 4 on our Artcore gallery page for that, and on this page we'll have our crafternoon. And we hope you have a lovely day. Take care.